All right, everyone get ready because today we are going deep into personal loans.
Ooh, personal loans.
Yeah, so we're going to be looking at this Australian mortgage and finance brokerage firm.
Okay.
Their website has got some amazing information on personal loans, and I think our listeners could really get a lot out of this.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so are you ready to unlock the secrets of personal loans?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, so let's just set the scene here. You've got this financial goal. Maybe it's renovating your home or consolidating some debt or taking that dream vacation.
Right.
A personal loan could really help you reach that goal.
Yeah, definitely.
But how do you even begin?
Well, a personal loan is basically borrowing money from a lender and repaying it over time, usually with interest. It's like a financial bridge between you now and your goals.
I like that, a bridge.
Yeah. And these loans, they come in two main types, secured and unsecured.
Okay. Secured versus unsecured.
Yeah, it sounds a bit dramatic, right?
What's the difference?
Well, think of a secured loan like this. You're putting up some collateral, something valuable like your car.
Okay.
As a guarantee for the lender. It's like you're saying, hey, I'm serious about repaying this loan and here's something to show for it.
Right.
So this lowers the risk for the lender and they often will give you a lower interest rate because of that.
Okay, so if I'm financing a new car, I could actually use the car itself as collateral.
Exactly. That's a great example.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah, let's say you need $10,000 for that new car.
Yeah.
Using the car as collateral might get you a 7% interest rate.
Oh, wow.
Which could save you hundreds of dollars over the life of the loan compared to an unsecured loan.
Okay, so what about unsecured loans?
So with unsecured loans, you don't have to put up any collateral.
So no putting my precious car on the line.
That's right. Your car's safe. These loans are based more on your credit worthiness. So basically your financial track record.
Okay.
Lenders will look at your income and credit history to see how likely you are to repay. But because it's a bit riskier for them, they usually have higher interest rates. So instead of 7% on that car, you might be looking at 9 or 10%.
Okay, so secured loans mean lower interest rates, but you have to provide collateral, and unsecured loans are more flexible, but you might have higher interest rates to pay.
Yeah, exactly. It's like choosing between two paths to the same destination.
Right, and who has time to figure all of this out and compare different offers from all the lenders out there?
It could be overwhelming for sure.
Yeah, and this is where I think a broker could really help.
Oh yeah, tell me more.
Well, the source we are looking at today says that they have access to over 50 lenders.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, can you imagine trying to do that yourself?
No way.
Brokers are like financial superheroes.
Yeah, I like that. And, they can often get you a better deal than you would get by going directly to a lender.
Really?
Yeah, because they know the loan landscape so well. They know each lender's criteria, and they can negotiate on your behalf to get you the best terms.
It's like having a personal shopper, but for loans.
Exactly. And they can save you money, too.
Thousands of dollars, potentially.
Right, that's right.
That's incredible. And they also protect your credit score. Did you know that each time you apply for a loan, it can actually leave a mark on your credit report?
Oh, really?
Yeah, and if you have too many inquiries, it can actually make you look risky to lenders.
Oh, wow. Didn't know that.
But when you use a broker, they do all the legwork comparing all the options from the different lenders, and they only submit your application to the ones that are most likely to approve you.
So you don't get all those extra inquiries.
Exactly. And they can often get you the best interest rates, too. So you're not just getting the lowest interest rate, you're actually getting the best overall deal.
And protecting your credit score in the process. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's not just about finding the cheapest loan, it's about finding the loan that works for you.
Right. And one that protects your credit health.
Exactly. So that's a huge benefit of using a broker.
Definitely. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's talk about what lenders are actually looking for when you apply for a loan.
Yeah. What makes someone a good candidate for a personal loan?
Okay, well, lenders want to be sure that you're going to repay the loan.
Right.
So they use a few key factors to figure out how reliable you are.
It's like they're financial detectives.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, so what are some of the clues they are looking for?
Well, income verification is super important. They want to see proof of how much money you make.
Okay.
Whether you're employed or self-employed.
Right.
To make sure you can actually afford the repayments.
That makes sense.
And the source goes into detail about how they verify income, even for self-employed people.
Yeah.
Which is helpful.
Yeah, because that can be tricky.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's your credit history. So your track record of managing your debts, paying your bills on time, and how much credit you're currently using.
So all of that gets factored into your credit score?
Exactly. And that score is a major factor when lenders decide whether to approve you for a loan and what interest rate to give you.
It's like your credit score is telling your financial story.
Yeah, it really is.
And lenders are reading it carefully.
That's right.
But wait, there's more, right?
There is more.
The source mentioned that your location can even affect your application.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting one.
Really? I had no idea.
Yeah, so certain areas might be considered riskier than others based on economic factors or historical lending data.
So there are so many different factors to consider.
There are a lot.
It really is like a financial puzzle.
It really is. And that's why it's so helpful to have a knowledgeable guide like a finance broker to help you through it all.
Okay, well, before we get into all of that, let's look at the comparison rate.
Okay, yeah.
The source really emphasized that the comparison rate is actually more important than the interest rate when you're comparing loan offers.
Oh, interesting. Can you explain that a bit more?
Yeah, so the interest rate is just one piece of the puzzle.
Okay.
Because lenders also have all these fees and charges that can really add up.
Oh, I see.
So it's important to look at the total cost of the loan, not just the interest rate.
Right.
And that's where the comparison rate comes in, because it takes all of those extra charges into account.
So it gives you a more realistic idea of what you'll actually be paying.
Exactly. It's like seeing the full picture, not just the initial sticker price.
I like that analogy.
Okay, so the comparison rate is our secret weapon.
It is.
Okay, let's talk more about how a broker can help us navigate all of this and save us money.
Sounds good.
But first, we're going to take a quick break. Be right back.
All right, see you soon.
All right, we are back and ready to keep going with personal loans.
Yeah, let's do it.
Before the break, we were talking about brokers.
Oh, yeah, brokers.
And how helpful they can be.
Yeah, I think they are so great for people who are just feeling a bit overwhelmed by it all.
Me too. So let's just say I'm convinced a broker sounds amazing. How do I even find one?
Well, this source we're looking at actually has a whole network of brokers.
Really?
Yeah, they specialize in matching borrowers with good brokers who are experts in different kinds of loans,
Okay.
including personal loans. And the best part is, it's usually free for the borrower.
Wait, free? How is that even possible?
Well, the broker gets paid a commission by the lender when the loan settles. So their success depends on you getting a good deal.
Oh, okay. So it's like they're on your team.
Exactly.
All right, so let's walk through this process.
Yeah.
I reach out to the brokerage, and then what?
So they will usually start by just having a chat with you to get a sense of your financial situation.
Okay.
You know, what your goals are for the loan, what's important to you, like the repayment terms, interest rates, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
And they'll also ask about your credit history and income.
So it's like a financial checkup
Yeah.
before you even apply for the loan.
Right. They want to see where you stand.
Okay.
And then they can create a personalized plan for you, a roadmap,
I like that.
a financial roadmap tailored to you.
Okay, so they look at my needs, they figure out what I can borrow, what I can afford.
Right. And then they can start searching their network of lenders
Okay.
to find the best options for you. It's like having a personal shopper for loans.
Yeah, but with expert advice.
Exactly. And they handle all that communication and paperwork with the lenders too.
Okay, that sounds great.
So once they found a few good options,
Yeah.
they'll present them to you really clearly, explain all the pros and cons of each one.
So they're like translating the complex world of finance into something that I can actually understand.
Exactly. And they'll help you weigh all those different factors like, you know, the interest rates, the fees, the repayment terms, any risks or benefits.
Okay.
So you can make the best decision for you.
All right, so a broker can really help me find the right loan for my needs and my goals.
Yes, and help you understand everything along the way.
Perfect. Okay. So the source also mentioned something called specialized loans.
Oh, yes.
What are those?
So specialized loans are basically loans that are specifically for certain needs or situations.
Okay.
So, for example, you could have a loan that's just for consolidating debt, or maybe one that's just for home renovations,
Right.
or medical expenses, or even green energy upgrades.
Oh.
Yeah, there are even loans for people who have bad credit.
Okay. So there's a loan for pretty much everything.
It seems like it, right?
So are there ever times when a personal loan isn't the best option?
That's a great question. And yes, sometimes other options might be a better fit.
Like what?
Well, the source talks about credit cards, lines of credit, and even peer-to-peer lending platforms.
Okay, let's talk about those for a minute.
Yeah.
What are the pros and cons of using those?
Well, credit cards are really convenient for short-term borrowing or for smaller purchases,
Right.
especially if you can use those interest-free periods.
Right.
But if you're carrying a balance, the interest rates can be really high.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, so you got to be careful.
Okay. And what about lines of credit?
So lines of credit are similar to credit cards. They give you revolving credit that you can use as you need it.
Okay.
And they often have lower interest rates than credit cards, but you might have higher fees.
So again, it's all about reading the fine print and figuring out what works best for you. Okay. And what about those peer-to-peer lending platforms?
So those platforms connect borrowers directly with individual investors.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And they can sometimes offer more competitive rates than traditional lenders.
Okay.
But it's important to research the platform really carefully and understand the risks.
Yeah, those sound a bit riskier.
Yeah, they can be.
Wow. So many options to think about.
I know it can feel a bit overwhelming, right?
Yeah, it does. It makes me really appreciate having a broker to guide me through all of this.
Me too. They're so helpful.
Okay, so moving on from all the different loan options.
Yeah.
I am curious about how personal loans are often used.
Yeah. Tell me more.
We always think of them for big purchases like cars or home renovations.
Right.
But they can actually be used for so much more.
Yeah, that's
Like
fair.
unexpected medical bills or investing in your education.
Right. Or even starting a small business.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Or funding a passion project.
Okay, so they're not just for getting out of debt or making a big purchase.
No, they can be for investing in your future.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's move on to loan repayment strategies.
Okay. That's good.
Because I know a lot of people are intimidated by the idea of loan repayments.
Yeah, it can seem scary, but once you understand how it all works, it's not that bad.
Okay, so how do loan repayments work?
Well, most personal loans give you flexible repayment terms, so you can usually choose a loan term from 1 to 7 years. And the length of your loan will affect your monthly repayments and how much interest you pay over the life of the loan.
Okay, so shorter loan term means higher monthly payments, but less overall interest.
Right.
And a longer loan term means lower monthly payments, but more interest in the long run.
Exactly. It's a balancing act.
Oh, okay. And what about making extra repayments on the loan? Is that a good idea?
It's a great idea.
Really?
Yeah, because it can reduce the overall interest that you pay and even shorten the loan term.
So even if I just make small extra payments, it can make a big difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I like that.
It's like putting your money to work for you.
Yeah.
Paying off that debt faster so you have more cash flow later.
This is great information.
It is.
Okay, so the source also mentions loan guarantors.
Oh, yes, guarantors.
I have to admit, I don't really know what that means.
Okay, well, a guarantor is someone who agrees to back your loan.
Yeah.
So they're promising to repay the debt if you can't.
Oh, wow. That's a big responsibility.
It is a big responsibility, and it's not something to take lightly.
No.
Both the borrower and the guarantor need to really understand what they're getting into.
Okay, so what are some of the things to consider if I'm thinking about being a guarantor or asking someone to be my guarantor?
Well, the most important thing is to be really open and honest about the risks involved, because the guarantor could end up having to repay the whole debt.
Wow, the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole thing, including interest and legal fees if the borrower can't repay.
So it's really important to be careful.
Yes, definitely. It's like a financial partnership.
Right.
And you need to be on the same page.
Okay, so it's not something to enter into lightly.
Definitely not. You really need to think it through.
Okay, well, this has been really helpful. I'm starting to see how a broker can help with all of this.
Yeah, they can be a great resource.
They can help me find the right loan and understand all the details.
Right, and they can help you navigate any challenges that come up along the way.
It's like having a financial advocate in my corner.
Exactly. They're there to support you and help you succeed.
I like that.
Yeah, and you know what I love about this source is how much they emphasize transparency and education.
Me too.
It's not just about getting you to sign on the dotted line. It's about making sure you understand everything.
Exactly. Knowledge is power.
Yes, especially when it comes to finances.
All right, so we've talked about a lot today, different types of loans, repayment strategies, brokers.
We've covered a lot.
But we need to talk about one more thing.
What's that?
Loan terms and that comparison rate.
Oh, yeah, the fine print.
Yeah, because it's so important to understand all the details before you sign anything.
Absolutely. Let's break down some of those key terms.
All right, loan terms, here we come.
The fine print can be a bit daunting.
It can. What are the most important things to pay attention to?
Well, first up, you've got the principal,
Okay.
which is just the amount of money you're borrowing.
Right, the starting point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Then you've got the interest rate.
Okay, and that's how much it costs to borrow the money.
Exactly. And it's usually shown as a percentage.
Right, percentage.
Yeah, and it can be fixed, so it stays the same or variable, meaning it can change over time.
Oh, that's tricky.
Yeah, you got to watch out for that.
Okay, so principal is what I borrow, interest is what I pay to borrow it. What about fees?
Oh, yes, the fees.
The source mentioned fees quite a bit.
Lenders love their fees.
Do they?
Yeah, there are all sorts of fees, like establishment fees for setting up the loan, monthly account keeping fees, and even early repayment fees.
Early repayment fees?
Yeah, if you pay off your loan sooner than expected, they might charge you a fee.
Seriously?
Yeah, so you really got to read all that fine print.
It's like hidden costs.
Yeah, it is. And that's where the comparison rate comes in handy because it includes all those fees.
Right. It gives you that bigger picture.
Exactly. So you can compare different loans accurately.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
And then you've got the repayment schedule.
Okay.
Which tells you how often you'll be making payments, the amount of each payment, and how long you have to repay the loan.
So it's like my payment plan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's your roadmap to becoming debt-free.
Okay. Roadmap. I like that.
Yeah. And don't forget to check the conditions of the loan.
Conditions?
Yeah. Some lenders have specific requirements you need to meet.
Like what?
Well, they might want you to maintain a certain credit score.
Okay.
Or have a stable income throughout the loan term.
So it's not just about getting approved. You have to keep meeting their requirements.
Yeah. So you got to stay in good standing.
Makes sense.
And then there's the dreaded default.
Default.
Yeah. That's when you don't make your payments as crocheted.
Okay.
And that can really hurt your credit score.
Oh, so we want to avoid that.
Definitely. And that's another reason why brokers are so helpful.
Oh, yeah.
They can help you understand all the terms. Make sure you get favorable conditions. And they can even help you if you run into trouble making payments.
So they're like a safety net.
Yeah, exactly. They're there to help you through the tough times.
I like that, a safety net.
Yeah. And even if you think you understand everything, don't be afraid to ask questions.
Always ask questions.
Yeah, a good broker will explain everything clearly and make sure you're comfortable with everything.
Okay, well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
We talked about different kinds of personal loans,
right.
The benefits of using a broker,
Yeah.
and all those tricky loan terms.
All the fine print.
Yeah, but before we go, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Okay, fire away.
We've talked about personal loans as a way to achieve your goals.
Yeah.
You know, like consolidating debt, buying a car, investing in your future.
Right.
But what if we thought about personal loans as a way to really improve your life?
Ooh, I like that.
You know, like as a way to achieve your dreams.
Tell me more.
So what dreams could you achieve with a personal loan?
Yeah, what could you unlock?
It's not just about managing your money.
Right.
It's about creating a life that you love.
I love that idea.
So maybe it's starting that business you've always wanted to start.
Yeah.
Or going back to school.
Or traveling the world.
Yeah, exactly.
The possibilities are endless.
They are.
So don't be afraid to dream big and think about how a personal loan could help you get there.
That's so inspiring.
It is.
So I think that's it for this deep dive into personal loans.
Yeah, I think we covered it all.
Thanks for joining us.
It was my pleasure.
And remember, knowledge is power. So keep learning, keep asking questions, and don't be afraid to reach out to a broker if you need help.
Great advice.
Until next time, happy financing.
And happy deep diving, everyone.